Good afternoon. Can't even say sliding now because I didn't make it. It is 12 o'clock. So, Judy Allan here with Adventurous Stampin. And it's all about keeping it simple or stepping it up today. But today, we're going to use scraps. And I'm going to show you how you can use 1.5 inch scrap pieces of paper to make some wow, gorgeous Christmas cards. Alright? So, with that, let's go down the hands and let's do this. Just to give you an example, this is what I've done before. That's not what we're doing today, but I just want to show you because that's about 1.5 inches, and I've just put 4 squares together, and I did some tags there in the middle, and then I turned around and I set up there, and I just added some ribbon, is what you see here, and some bling and so forth and all. So today, doing a little bit different. I'm taking scraps. If you're out there, be sure to say hello. Hello, Jennifer. Zoe and Anna go live on Sunday with Zoe and Anna Stampin'. So we'll begin with some door prizes. I brought some bling because I wasn't sure exactly what bling we're going to use, but we'll figure it out, right? I did use in my paper, I used some glitter paper and some of here from scraps. And then I used my scrap paper from this right here. So all I did was took it and made a square, right? Cut it down to 1.5 inches, and that's a great way to use your scraps. So that is what I am doing today. So on card number 1, like we always do, I'm starting off with a 3x3 card, and I've already heat embossed this. So for you, those of you who aren't familiar with the heat embossing, it is nothing more than, I should say it's nothing more than, because it is more than it makes it sound. It is taking some Versamark, and I used a piece of scrap paper here. I just always grab whatever's handy because it doesn't matter, I'm going to dust it off. But I would take this here, and after I did all that, let me get a piece of scrap white paper, because it's going to show you, and I always have white scrap paper somewhere from something, right? Okay, I'll use this here. It's not quite white, that's purple. Let me see here for you. I'm going to show you. I just need something white, right? I don't care if it's from Paper Pumpkin. I don't care what it's from, right? Alright, so here's a piece of white right here. And so I'm just going to show you how it's done, because it's very simple. Versamark is what we're going to use to stamp with, but this is what allows, it doesn't dry as quick as the inks do, and you can leave it right here a moment. You know, it's one thing we don't think about. We can leave it right there, right? Until I'm ready to put my powder on it. And so this is a metallic heat embossing powder, and that's what I've used on all these cards. And then all you have to do is tap it off. Hello, Lourdes. It's always so good to see you. It's good to see Jennifer too. Today's Jennifer's birthday, so we're going to take her to lunch. Okay, so I got a little bit of there, so it means I got some ink there, but that's okay, because when I get through cutting the tag, it's fine. So we have to have heat, right? So we use this is the heating tool that Stampin' Up! Has, and we just use the heat, and I could do it right now because it makes a lot of noise, but it takes the paper from here to here. So it raises up that silver. As you can see, here it is here with just the powder. And here's what happens when I apply heat to it. And somebody says, can you use your hair dryer? No, it doesn't work. I've tried it just because they asked. So you really do have to use the heating tool. I usually have some tweezers or something that I hold onto the paper because the paper gets very hot. And I have some tweezers that actually stay closed unless you press them open, so that's really sweet. And then Stampin' Up's put out a tool just like that as well too. So I just at least wanted to show you that, because I'm going to do that on all of them, but I'm not going to turn it on and make all the noise and all right now. If you want me to do another day where I devote my time to doing this, I will, just for you. So just let me know and I'll be sure to do it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with our 3x3, and here's our 1.5 inch pieces. Now, if you did the math, 1.5 and 1.5 is 3 inches. So I'm doing a 3x3 card. So I had to fudge just a little on this one to make it work, right? I'm trying to see if I can, it doesn't matter. So I just cut them down just a little bit to like 2 And it's halfway between 2 3/4 and 3, just enough so that I can sit there and do this. So all I'm going to do is put my tape on here and get it down. So that is one thing about the 3x3s and doing this. It's just a real quick, simple little card, right? You just put your adhesive on it, put it down, and we're going to actually put a snowflake in the middle of it. And then we can come back and decide. I've got 3 different, let's see if I could do this. I have 3 different tags that we can actually size down. And we are going to size down, so it's just a matter of which punch we want to use to size them down. If we just want to cut some of them down, but we can put a tag on each one of the cards we're making today, and it just helps finish it off, right? So this one's going to be a snowflake. It's going to finish this one off, and I just try to make sure when I put this down that's about the equal distance from the edges, and so it squares up, right? You got a happy birthday. Whoop whoop. It's a birthday week for us indeed. Zoe's mom's birthday's this week. Jennifer's birthday. Mine was yesterday. So it's just a birthday week. And we have friends that have a birthday on actually Halloween. Alright, so we're going to put this up on with a dimensional, a large dimensional, because it fits beautifully behind here. If you notice, it's like they created the shape in the center, just the shape of the large dimensional, so you can put it up here. And you just have a very nice, beautiful card. If you looked at last week, it looks very similar to the gift box that we did, right? But there you go. You got a nice, easy card. We can put a tag on it here. Now, this one's pretty large. We'd have to size it down, right? So we could either size it down with scissors. This is going to be my first choice. I could cut it with my cutting, scoring tool cutter, right? Paper cutter. But you know, this is small, and I just have to use my scissors. I really don't have to do that. It's a handmade card, right? I'm gonna go with a gift. So it's not like it has to be rocket science or anything, because nobody's looking for me to make rocket science for their birthday. If they are, then I'm gonna send them back to school, because I don't want to do rocket science. They can do rocket science. Alright, so all you're gonna do now is you're just gonna size it down to however you want it, right? So for me, it's just very easy. I'm just gonna cut it right here, because I'm going to tuck it right here, right? Happy holidays, or I can tuck it right under here, right? Right there will be fine. So it's just finding where you want it. For me, it just depends the time of day, what's going on. What I wanted this morning can be very different at noon time, right? So that's the nice thing about creating, and it's your creation. You can do what you want. So I'm just going to put happy holidays here. I could put it just as easily right here. Do you guys have a preference? You want it on top of the, I'm going to put it under the snowflakes. I'm going to give you that chance right now. I'm going to hurry put this on before you make a decision. I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Thank you, Lourdes. You know what? It's, you know, everybody's time is the thing. How much time do you have? And that's what it gets down to. So I'm just going to tuck it so you can see a little bit of that snowflake or both of it, but you'll still see it because it's nice, silver, and shiny. So there's our simple, just a very simple 3x3 card, right? All right, let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2, I have added some silver. This is just some silver paper that they have right now. And I'm actually just going to put it right here. I'm not going to put it up on dimensionals because I don't think it needs to be on dimension. Well, I do need to wait a second though. Let me go ahead and get these on because I'm going to put some ribbon on here too. So what I've done with this, again, I've taken our 1 1/2 inch scraps. This here is, just to let you know, a 3.5 by 3.5. All right. And the reason why I was going to put that down, but I just remembered I plan on putting ribbon on it. Okay. So I want to tuck the ribbon behind it today and do it like I like to do it. Versus, you get to see me have such an opportunity for creativity. Thank you, Lourdes. So I'm just going to put this on here. This actually, the silver comes in different, 3 different shades really. It comes with a color like this, and if you can't tell, it's really pretty up close, and I'll show you. It's got like it's like brushed silver in a sense, I guess would be the best way to show it to you. But I want to show you how you can see those grains. See how it's brushed? It's just very, very pretty. Sometimes when you see this stuff in the catalog or just somebody shows it to you and you can't really tell, you think, well, that's most probably just not too pretty, or I don't know if I would like that. But when you see it in person and you can see all the detail, it's just amazing what that is difference. So I'm actually taking my snowflake foil here. Let me just set this aside here a second. I'm actually just separating them apart, right? This one's got silver dots on it, snowflake dots, and the other ones are actually flakes. So I'm just putting them diagonally across from one another. And then we're going to actually be putting a snowflake in here too. But just, when you start putting these 1.5 inch squares, it's any color. Today I'm doing this. I could just as easily use any Christmas paper, right? I could, this is a great, the one I let off with to show you. It's a great way to put anything behind it. You can do them diagonally if you wanted to. You can actually even have them stacking, coming down like this design right here. If you'd wanted to do it like that, that would have been fine too. I should have done that. Should have done that for you, just to show you how that looks. I mean, it's just so many different ways you can do 1.5 inch squares, and I think that's why I like it so much. Because in this particular case, I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to take this beautiful ribbon. I don't know if you can see it or not, but look at the sparkle, right? And I'm just going to take it and wrap it here, and I'm going to just use my glue dots to anchor it on the back. So I don't know how this is going to work in the center, because that was the only thing I thought about when I was looking at this pretty ribbon that I really, really like. And it really does good for making decorative bags and all too, is how's that going to look bulk-wise when I go and do that. I do not control the dog. That's the dog you hear in the background. I didn't feel like my glue dot got on there. Okay, we'll try that again. Because I really do. I want it to wrap right here. I want it to almost wrap like a Christmas present, right? So I'm just going to come around and that's really sort of what it's going to look like when I get through with it. It's going to look like a Christmas present. Even though it's a card. I'm looking for my glue dots. I got more of them, but I just can't sort of see it at the moment. I'll just put it right there. Alright. Then I'm going to snip it, right? And then we'll do the other side. And you can see what I'm talking about. So here's where I have it right here. And then I planned on going across it like this right here and then put the tag there. So it's going to create a little bit of bulk, but I think we're going to be good. It just provides an opportunity for us to be creative, right? So we're going to use some more glue dots here. Get this down. I do have a little trash thing over there to collect all my little trash. If you want to see it, there it is. That helps me keep my area cleaned up, right? Okay, and so then I'm just going to come across here and do the same thing. I'm going to just use another glue dot. And different people do different glue dots different ways. This is just how I do mine. It just makes it easier for me so I'm not dealing with ribbon flapping all over the place. So now I can go ahead and put it down. So it would be very easy for me to put this down with dimension. In fact, it'd be a lot easier for me to put this down with dimensionals since I got all that bulk behind there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. That isn't what I was going to do originally, but I am now. so we're just stepping it up, right? We had a 3x3 card. Took this pretty much the same concept. I just spread it out a little bit more. And I've got I've got our snowflake here to put on top, so our opportunity is to decide how we're going to be able to adhere that to the ribbon here. But see how nice that's going to look? And then we're just going to put that right there. So I did put the dimensionals there. I can move it over just a tad. You can see it really didn't stick yet. So I'm just going to move it over just a tad there, try to get it as centered as I can. Alright, so there's my dimensionals, and then I can easily put my snowflake right there. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here, because that's really the only thing that's going to work for me right now. because that's prickly, right? The ribbon's prickly, so it's not really going to take to the adhesive. I just use regular adhesive, so it's not going to stick too well. But the glue will, right? It's 3-dimensional glue. So all I can do is stick it, let it dry, and we got it right there. So what do we have left on our stepping up here? We've got our happy holidays. So for me, when I make these cards, I mean, I have people that, you know, maybe not celebrate Christmas. Maybe I'll use it for Hanukkah. I even have a happy Hanukkah stamp. So from here, I'm going to sit up here. I brought different options to show you. So these are all punches. And it's just to give you, so here's one here. And I don't know if anybody has a preference or not. This is a different punch. I'm not sure if this would fit, was the question that I didn't know. So see, that's a great way to see if it would fit or not. But for me, it would really have to be right here, so I'd have the smooth edges. So that's not really going to work. I could sit there and the paper's too wide. So sometimes you can stick the paper in here and punch it, but my paper's too wide for that. So that one's going to be eliminated. And some other punches I brought along, because it's just about choices. This one will give me a nice edge like this. And let's see, let me see if my scrap here had again, I'll go just to show you. So here's our choices. Here's one. I could do an edge like that. I could do a flat square edge, which I'm not sure that's really going to float my boat. So here are two options right there. And let's see. Oh, I did just smear that. So, you know, I showed you that I stamped this, but I didn't sit there and heat emboss it yet. So see what happens? That's what happens. In fact, I can erase that whole thing off right there. And that's what happens if you don't, you go ahead and get your heat embosser out and heat it. There you go. End of that story. Okay, so I'll just use this for right here then. I've got one more punch. So let me know what you like if you have a preference. If not, I will just forge on. Here's another one here. This one just rounds the corners. And then this one here is going to, let me put that down. Give me an edge like that. And actually, I've actually rounded the corner before and done this as well too. So this is like the different edges you can have right here that I would have happy holidays on here with. Or I could do these right here. So does anybody have a preference? I have this or this. I got the rounded edge. I got it where it looks like almost like a flower or something punched out. This is just a straight edge across, and this just gives it a nice little swirl. So it's just really sort of what your preference is, if you even have a preference. Does anybody have a preference? Or I could go this route as well too. So if anybody doesn't have a preference, let's see here if I've got my papers thin enough to go in here, if I have to slide it down. Because this allows you to do 3 different sizes. Oh yeah. Oh, she likes the little flower. Alright, we are going to do the little flower then. So all we're going to do, oh, you know what, let's see how this looks. I haven't done this like this before. Let's see, you know what, we'll just do it in each corner like that. I was just going to say, I'm not sure how that's going to go. Let me stamp, since I only have one piece, let me see how it's going to be on the edge here. Okay, I was just double checking, because if so, I could have flipped my paper over, right, to get the opposite look of this one here. So this is how this will look right here. Whoop, whoop. And that looks very, very lovely. And I'm going to put that up on dimensionals. And then we actually can put some sparkly bling on here. That'll go really nice. I actually brought choices. I'm all about choices, right? Gotta have those choices. So I'm just going to stick this down here. Just a very nice, simple card where we added a snowflake, some ribbon, some extra paper there. And then I have some beautiful bling that I can easily put here that goes well with it. In fact, I'm going to use this blue. I don't know what color blue this is, but I really like it. It's like that icy blue. We'll put 3 of these on here. There you go. And it just gives it that little extra holiday touch. So that is card number 2. Alright, let's go to card number 3. So card number 3, we're going to step it up, right? But we're doing the same thing. So this one, I got a larger tag. I brought some of my favorite ribbon just in case. So on this one, I'm just going to do the same thing, except see how much larger the paper is? So this is a 4 by 5 1/4. And what I'm going to do, I've actually used the white instead of the silver snowflake paper this time. It's all in the same collection, but I've just used the white this time instead of the silver. Just to give you a change, just to show you how just little changes can make a difference, right? So I'm going to do the same thing as I did a minute ago. I'm just going to space these out proportionally, top and bottom. And I'm just going to make sure my snowflakes are across from one another. Except this time I've actually used the cottage wreath dies, and it does some really cool things when you use the cottage wreath dies. And keep in mind I don't have this down on the blue yet. I just sort of got it on top, sort of. You know what I do lots of times like this is it's just sort of give me an idea of how things are going to look, right? Until like I'm ready to go and finish it up. And it's just an easy way to do it for me. Okay, I like that, Lourdes. Yeah, we don't want to take away from the snowflake detail, right? That's true. Because the snowflake is just so pretty. The paper is pretty. Thank you. Yeah, we don't want to take away from that. Alright, let's see. Get my tape runner. It's almost out, it looks like, but I got a backup spare. Sometimes it gets a little finicky when I get to the end there. And again, we're just putting this on here. We'll put it on with dimensionals, and that sort of saves that, right? So I'm going to do this right here. Now you're thinking we got a lot of space right here. Yes, we do. But we also have some nice glitter paper that I've used to make a wreath to go right here in the center. And I can put this up on dimensionals as well, too. And let me go ahead and do that, because it just gives it that nice height. But I really like the fact I wanted to capture the glitter of the glitter paper, which I had at the very beginning. So you can just see if I can get the glitter there for you. There you go. And here it is right here. I don't know if I can capture it for you. Yeah, there you go. So you can see the glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here in the middle. And then we're actually going to put our greetings in the center, right in the center of our wreath, just like you would if you put a Christmas wreath on your door. So I'm just going to put this right here. And this here is actually a dimension. So when you die cut this, it's dimensional. I'm not going to work on poking these little things out right now. But I want you to see when you die cut this, this is like a 3D type die cutting, right? So look at all this right here. So you can fluff these up. And I'll have to put this down. I can put it down with some adhesive, some glue, whatever. But I'm going to put it, I'm most trying to use glue, because when you go and put something down on top of glitter paper, sometimes the stuff doesn't want to stick as well with adhesive as it will with glue. So I just did some of that for you so I can get some of the height. I can come back and fuss with it later and do all of it. These will poke out on their own, or when it goes to the mail, they come out really easy, as you can see. And then all I'm going to do is take this, put some glue in here so it'll stay. And then I'm going to put this other ring right on top of it. I am going to make sure that I just do it right in the center. And the reason for that is I just want to do it right here in the center pieces, because I want to be able to fluff up my wreath, just as if I was fluffing it up on my door outside. So I'm just going to put some little spots here in between this stuff so I can still finish it off, right? Okay, and I'm just going to put this on here. Let's see if I've got a particular way I'm going to do it. Not really, right? Just going to put it here. Alright, Alright, I'm going to believe that's going to stay without me putting some weight on it, but it looks like I'm going to have to put some weight on it. So let me put something on top of it. I'm just going to put something on it right there. And then I'm going to get ready to put this on top as well, too. So let me get something else heavier. Let me use this right here. There. Give me a helping hand there. Alright, that's actually my drink coaster. Alright, so I'm just going to put some back on here as well. Now you could have used adhesive tape. They have adhesive tape. You could have die cut, put them back here, and die cut it with adhesive on back. But I didn't. I was just going to use some liquid glue. Just some liquid glue, some good 3D liquid glue. Yeah, it might be a little flat at the moment, but that's okay. I'm going to wait till this all dries. And I'll just have some weight on it to smush it down. Okay, so I'm going to get ready to put my dimensionals on the back of here. And it's okay because I can work around it being smushed down, because I just need to put it on my corners. Let it all dry a moment for me so I can get it on here the way I want it. And then we have the choice of how we want our sentiment, right? Because I've already got it heat embossed. Oops, sorry. Right here. And so we've got to trim it down just a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to put it down right here. Okay. Alright, let's see how we're looking there. Alright. So I've got the heat, I've got it right there. All that other stuff I'm not worried about, it'll all come off when you get through. So now we have where we can put happy holidays. So this one we are going to want it to be a little bit thinner, right? And it's just a question where we want it. I was going to put it just right across the center and put some bling on it. So if you want something else, let me know. It'll be like any other Christmas wreath you deal with. We'll do the fluffing around it. But we're going to at least trim it down, right? I want to trim it down to at least, for sure, the edges here, right? So with that, let me go ahead. Let's just see. If you got something special, let me know. At the moment, I'm just going to start off with this. Because the nice thing is, I don't know if you can see it or not. Nice thing is if we change your mind, you decide you want something else, that's fine. Because all I got to do is, this is long enough, I can trim it as many times as I want. But we'll see how we like this. Okay, so this still needs to be a little bit thinner, right? Because that's what it would look like right now. I should be able to move this without my wreath falling off now. So it just gives you an idea. It's going to come right across here. We can put bling on it. I think it still looks a little long. So it's not a big deal just to cut off the ends and do it again. It's all about getting it to what length you want it to, right? That's all it's about. It's just about that. What length do you want it at? Alright, so I'm going to put this right here. We just center it. That's all we're doing. And for me, I always just sort of look for my corners. Where's my corners and so forth and so on. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It really sort of does cover the wreath. So if Lourdes was there, she'd most probably say it really covers the wreath. And I don't know if that would be there. So I will look at cutting that down as I'm looking around for my paper cutter. Let's see here. That's okay. We'll just do the scissors. We'll just do the scissors. Scissors will work just fine. You know, sometimes for us, like now we're getting ready for retreat, so everybody sort of got everything pulled for retreat. So we'll just use scissors, right? Versus our paper cutter. And I'm just eyeballing it. You might be off just a little bit because I know the other side I did the tab this way. And I'm just going to work it out like this here. Alright? I do have the paper cutter. Okay, so at least I ended on the same cut there. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to take this corner here where we know the edge cut there. And if I'd sat there and made my paper a little bit narrower, the punch would have allowed me to do this anyway. It would have just punched the part that I had. Okay, so again, I'm just going to flip it over because you can see I've got it off just a little bit. Just a little bit, and I'll just shave it off. Okay, so, thank you, Lourdes. So this is how long it is, and Lourdes is absolutely right. So we don't want to be quite so wide and quite so long. So I've been rescued with my paper trimmer. I could still use my scissors, but let's see if we can shave it off. It's not like we have to shave off a lot, right? We already know that. I'm just going to put it right, but I don't want to cut off the words. I will need a post-it note because this is so small. Let me get a post-it note. So when things are really small like this, post-it notes come really in handy. I know some people use washi tape. I don't. I just use my, if you want to call it old school, we'll call it old school. And I use my old school post-it note. And so I'm just going to shave this off. That's all I'm doing, right? I'm just shaving off each side. I might have to do a smidgen more on that because that wasn't really enough for me. So we had done it on the one right there. So I'm just going to, I had done it right here. So I'm just going to carry it down just a little bit more. Right here. I just find a mark. I was right here. No, I wasn't. I was more like, let's see, I think it's right. You have to sort of look at it because I don't want to chop off the top of it, right? I don't want to chop off the words Happy Holiday. I just want to get it squared off. So you just have to sort of eyeball it. Okay, I think that looks more squared off now. Alright, yes it does. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to square it off just a little bit more. Cut off just a little bit. I don't want to cut off the words, so that's why I'm using this right here. Because I do need to trim it. And all you got to do is look. So if you want to know, just line it up. So you can see right here where you can see a little bit of that silver. Well, more than likely it's going to get cut off. So I'm just going to move it over just a little bit more. Line that up. Let's see how we look now. So you can see now we don't see the silver in the cutting line area. So I'm just going, in fact, what I'm going to do, it's easier if you start here and go back up because the paper doesn't want to move and wiggle on you. And you can see that now I've got it nice and cleaned up. Now it's still long. It's still long. So all I would do on something like this that's still long, I would just come up here on my paper cutter. I'm just going to cut off where I think this is a 1 centimeter here. So I'm just going to put it down here. And I can do it that way. There's my 1 centimeter I cut off. And I'm going to flip and do the same thing the other way. And we'll see if that's enough. And if it's not, guess what? We'll just do it again. But it's like sewing or anything else. It's easier to take off. Oh, I like this. Is that okay, Lourdes? It's easier to take off a little bit at a time than it is just to go whack it off and then you whack too much off. Okay, now I can do the same thing I was doing a while ago. I can sit up here and just stick this in here. You can see I got different grooves in here. If you can't see, I will show you. So there's 3 different grooves in here that allows you to do 3 different sizes. So the only thing I usually do if my size is a little bit smaller, I just flip it over and make sure I've got it lined up back here where it's going to look the same, and I punch it. So I'll turn around and do the same thing on this side and do the same thing, and I'll just feed it through and you'll see where it goes all the way back. And again, I just make sure I've got this centered because it's just a little bit shorter, and I just punch it. And there you go. You've got your tag. So really it's more the thing of deciding what size you want your tag to be, right? So for this then, I'm just going to use some small dimensionals and put this on here. And then we'll be done with it, right? And we have a beautiful card using nothing but 1.5 inch. I'm just sort of going to line my little dimensionals right up here with a wreath right here. And I'm going to put one on the other side. Okay. And there way, oops, that one came off. Let me see where that one went to. Put that back on. Now see, I didn't think about that because I am on glitter paper. And it may not want to stick to the glitter paper. I didn't think about that for this part. Try the other one, looks like it's staying, but this one, alright, we'll see. We shall see. Alright. Yeah, so you see this is wanting to come up. So I might have to do something else. Or I can maybe put some glue. You know, there's no reason I can't put glue on the dimensional itself either. And I might have to end up doing that if it wants to pull off. So I'm just going to put the Happy Holidays right down the center. And then I can come back and I can fluff up the sides here, making my wreaths just like I would on my front door, giving it all that 3D effect and everything else. So the only other thing I would be sure to add to this, you could either add, I really like this and wanted to add it like a bow. But I don't think I can make a tiny enough bow. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's pretty wide ribbon. I'd have to really sort of almost cut it in half, I think. I always hate to cut it in half because I like it the way it is. We can make a pretty little silver bow like this to go down here. That would be nice. Ooh, I like that. Okay, let me do that. Answer my own question. Wasn't sure if I was going to like that or not. For the moment, I like it. You may not like it. You might suggest something else. That's fine. For the moment, though, until you do. Thank you, Lourdes. I'm just going to trim it off, man. It's just going to trim it off to whatever length I think it needs to be. You know, things are sort of crazy right now because we're all getting ready. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We got Halloween on Monday. We got Zoe and Nana on Sunday. Let's see what that week looks like. We got the retreat on Saturday. We have Zoe and Nana on Sunday. We have Halloween on Monday. And then we have Coker Fest the following Saturday. So we are crazy busy. I like that because, you know, this is here is by doing this, it actually is, it touches this up here and also hangs down here. Just gives you a nice, elegant, happy holiday. So here's our 3. Let me clean my mess, just sort of scoot my mess over for you so you can see the 3 that we did today. Thank you, Lourdes. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so here we did. We started simple with this right here. We stepped it up. We added a snowflake. We added some more right here and some ribbon. And here we stepped it even more. We added some die cutting along with some ribbon. We didn't do the snowflake this time because we've got 3 layers for our wreath right here with our ribbon and so forth and all. So I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's just a quick, easy way to use up some of your scraps of the 1 by 1.5 by 1.5 scraps piece of paper. You can do it with any of the paper, and that's what makes it so fun. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us if you're not, and share with others as well too, because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So somebody's getting some cards, right? And you know what? We have the video out on YouTube that you can look at anytime, and we also have photos out there on Pinterest and Instagram. So with that, be blessed, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Keep It Simple or Step It Up. Or you can join us for Zoe and Nana Stamping on Sunday at 4 p.m. We'll be giving away door prizes as well. All right. See you next time. Bye.